Imagine this. You've spent months preparing for the climb of a lifetime. You're at Everest Base Camp, surrounded by the hum of eager climbers, the flutter of colorful prayer flags, and the awe-inspiring peaks of the Himalayas. It feels like nothing could go wrong. But in an instant, everything changes. The ground beneath you shakes violently, as though the earth itself is coming apart. The sound of a massive roar grows louder, until you realize it's an avalanche. Before you can react, it's upon you. Snow, ice, and rocks obliterate everything in their path. This is no fictional tale. This is the story of April 25, 2015, a day that forever changed Mount Everest. A day of unimaginable loss, unthinkable courage, and profound lessons. Stick with us as we dive deep into the events of the deadliest day in Everest's history. In late April 2015, Everest Base Camp was bustling with climbers from all over the world. It was the peak of the spring climbing season, and for many, this was the culmination of years of training, sacrifice, and dreams. Base Camp, sitting at an altitude of 17,600 feet, is like a temporary city, complete with tents, kitchens, and medical facilities. Climbers and Sherpas share stories, prepare for their ascents, and marvel at the breathtaking scenery. The towering peaks of Everest, Nuptse, and Pumori form a majestic backdrop. But the serenity of this scene was about to be shattered in ways no one could have imagined. At exactly 11:56 a.m. on April 25th, a powerful earthquake struck Nepal. Measuring 7.8 on the Richter scale, its epicenter was in the Gorkha district, about 50 miles from Everest. The quake unleashed widespread destruction across Nepal, flattening villages, killing nearly 9,000 people and displacing millions. But for those on Everest, the quake unleashed a different kind of terror. The tremors caused a massive avalanche to break loose from the slopes of Mount Pumori, a neighboring peak. The avalanche barreled down the mountain with incredible speed, heading straight for base camp. Jost Kobusch, a German mountaineer, captured the chaos on camera. His footage shows climbers running in all directions, their screams drowned out by the deafening roar of the avalanche. The wall of snow hit base camp with devastating force, flattening tents and burying climbers and Sherpas beneath tons of ice and debris. Survivors described it as a scene of pure chaos. Mingma Sherpa, a seasoned guide, recalled the moment. It felt like the world was collapsing. We couldn't see the avalanche at first because of the clouds. By the time we realized what was happening, it was too late. Everything was destroyed. When the avalanche subsided, base camp was unrecognizable. Tents were shredded, supplies buried, and the air filled with cries for help. For the survivors, the priority was clear: rescue the injured and find the missing. Kent Stewart, an American climber, described the scene. People were digging frantically, using their hands, ice axes, anything they could find. Injured climbers were everywhere, some with broken bones, others with deep cuts. It was overwhelming. One of the most harrowing moments came when Mingma Sherpa found a friend gravely injured. I saw him lying on the ground, his eye hanging out of its socket. I tried to help him, but I knew there was nothing I could do. It broke my heart. The avalanche claimed 22 lives, including climbers, Sherpas, and expedition staff. Among the victims was Dan Fredenberg, a Google executive known for his adventurous spirit. He had been documenting his Everest journey on social media just hours before the disaster. Marisa Eve Girawong, a physician's assistant, was another victim. Known for her dedication to helping others, she had been working as a medic at base camp when the avalanche struck. Filmmaker Tom Taplin, who was working on a documentary about Everest, also lost his life. His camera captured some of the final moments before the avalanche hit, a haunting reminder of how quickly life can change. These were not just climbers. They were friends, family, and dreamers, each with their own unique story. Each had their own reasons for climbing Everest, but on that day, those reasons were overshadowed by the disaster that unfolded. The survivors, too, would forever be changed. The emotional and physical scars they carried would stay with them long after the wreckage was cleared. Before we continue, we want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever dreamed of climbing Everest? Or do stories like this make you question the risks? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're captivated by stories of survival, courage, and the human spirit, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support helps us bring you more incredible stories like this one. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join our community. All right, let's get back to it. With the medical facilities at base camp destroyed, climbers with medical training stepped up to provide aid. They created makeshift triage areas and used whatever supplies they could find to treat the wounded. Helicopters arrived the next morning, but the challenges were immense. At Everest's high altitude, helicopters can only carry 2 passengers at a time. The pilots worked tirelessly, braving dangerous conditions to evacuate the most critically injured climbers first. Meanwhile, over 100 climbers were stranded higher up the mountain, trapped in remote camps. With food and oxygen running low, their survival depended on the weather clearing for rescue missions. Weather, however, wasn't cooperating. High winds, snowstorms, and freezing temperatures made it nearly impossible to launch full-scale rescue operations. The clock was ticking, and each hour that passed raised the stakes for those trapped on the mountain. Amid the devastation, moments of extraordinary heroism emerged. Climbers and Sherpas worked together to dig survivors out of the snow. One climber stayed by his injured friend's side for hours, offering comfort until the very end. Mingma Sherpa recalled the strength of the climbing community. We were strangers, but in that moment, we were a team. Everyone was helping each other, risking their lives to save others. It wasn't just the climbers who showed remarkable courage. Sherpas, who often faced the greatest risks, worked relentlessly to dig out their colleagues and clients, sometimes even pulling people from under tons of snow, all while battling exhaustion and fear themselves. The disaster on Everest was just one part of Nepal's suffering. Entire villages in the Gorkha district were flattened, and historic landmarks in Kathmandu were reduced to rubble. For the Sherpa community, the avalanche was a stark reminder of the dangers they faced to support the climbing industry. The 2015 earthquake left Nepal reeling. International aid poured in, but the road to recovery has been long and difficult. For many, the scars, both physical and emotional, will never fully heal. But amidst the rubble, something extraordinary happened. A collective effort to rebuild, to rise from the ashes. The Nepalese people, climbers, and the international community came together in the aftermath. Fundraising efforts were launched, donations poured in, and countless people worked day and night to support recovery efforts. The 2015 Everest disaster raised important questions about the ethics of climbing. Should climbers continue to pursue Everest, knowing the risks? And how can we better protect the Sherpas who risk their lives to make these ascents possible? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this look into the 2015 Everest disaster compelling, don't forget to subscribe. We've got plenty more stories and deep dives coming your way.